Here are the times.
The final. Here's our top seed, Dick O'Connell, Abington. He will lead off in the first string, and Gary Carrington will lead off in the second. Dick O'Connell won it last year over Peter Flynn.
They asked Dick if he still had the $10,000 from last year in the bank. And the answer was no, so he needs another one now.
He has his own electrical contracting business. No mark to start there. Right now, a league average of 126. It's a 9. This is our 13th show, as you know, and I just have a couple of notes that I want to mention about a couple of our former champions. Ron Brewer, who won in 1982. Ron Brewer of Weymouth is at home right now recuperating from a heart attack, so we wish him well, and anybody else that wants to send along their wishes, I'm sure he'd appreciate it. Dick O'Connell right now with the 9 and 10. Waiting right now to see what Dick O'Connell will do here. Nice shot. The other of our champions that I said I was going to have a note about, it was Ray McGurk, who was our champion 2 years ago. And although he himself is all right, Ray McGurk's father is in the hospital, and some of you bowling fans I know would want to know that. And one other note. Our substitute statistician, Peg Philbrook of Magnolia, is at home recovering from a serious illness. And we have our best wishes for a complete and speedy recovery. Nice shot!
Well, the Carrington family is expecting a win here. They're seated only a couple of seats away from me. They were talking just 2 minutes ago about going out and buying Chinese food and handing the check to young Gary. So spending the winnings before it gets into his hands.
Well, that's nice to have that kind of confidence, right? Pretty shot. Dick O'Connell. Tupou gets 5, but no wood to help. This is the biggie, the final 2 strings, but at the moment it's paling by comparison to the 2 quarterfinals. That was a surprise. You see Joe Ashline, he sort of, the look on his face was, I guess, I can't guess exactly what he was thinking, but he might have said, well, gee, I'm not the only one to miss.
Thought in Joe Ashline's head is probably one more pin and I'd be here.
Uh-huh. That close to a strike. Left the 6 pin. He has it. Phil Rubin, of course, is our producer-director. Our switcher today is Skip Peabody, and on audio is Dave Gardner. Some of our cameramen, Bill Freewald, Leroy McLaurin, Alan Pratt. Our lighting director, Jerry Mio. Gary Carrington fires, and he's got a 4-7 on the left and a 10 over on the right. Steve Bailey on transmission. Al Brewer is our utility man. Slow-mo is Jeff Sullivan. He got the left side. Electronic graphics, Jim Lowell. Our assistant director, Scott Philbrick. Bruce Goldman is running the board right here for the folks who can see it. And I've told you before, Al Giglio is running our new electronic scoreboard. Tough split. Something about it. You got a problem. I think he knows that.
He's converted some like this, though, so far. That's a little bit too tough. He set himself a high standard, certainly, in the first match today, the quarterfinal with a 143.
A 10. So we're going to pause one more time here after 4 boxes. We'll go right through on the final string. But right now, you can take a look at that scoreboard and got a peek at it? Okay, we'll come back and pick up the action right after this. Dick O'Connell, our top seed and defending champion, working on a spare. This will be the fill. Well, how about that? 2. The old half Worcester left. For a second, it looked as if he was going to go right down the same spot. It's an 8. Spare lead, 6 and 10. He's got it. Gary Carrington. There it is. At first, when he was delivering the ball, as it was coming into the pocket, it looked like it was going to be a big, big hit. Then it looked like it was going to be a nothing hit, and now he winds up with a spare lead, basically, but he was unable to take advantage of it.
Well, again, given the nature of their deliveries, they get so much action on it, even if they miss a hit pin.
Boy, how true that is. 9. Any more? One more? Well, he lets you know he cares, doesn't he?
These are known to be very helpful alleys as well, but probably a combination of the two, the delivery and the help they get down there.
Dick O'Connell. Now they're warming up. One pin lead for Dick O'Connell after 5. Okay, first ball gets him 6, and he's got the diamond kind of set up there with a piece of wood in between and a piece of wood in a nice position. Right alongside 3 and 5. Oh, the 9 did not go. That was one of those where you're almost ready to turn towards the scorekeeper and say, mark it.
Yeah, Dick couldn't believe it. It's been kind of like a prize fight. They're just feeling themselves out for the first couple of rounds, the first few boxes, and as soon as someone lays some leather on the other guy, they respond in kind.
Now Gary Carrington. He's working on a strike. Some of the bowlers today will be competing in what the Massachusetts Bowling Association would like you to know, and that is that they will be sending 6 men and 6 women to New Brunswick, Canada this coming October to compete against the best bowlers from Maine and New Hampshire in the United States, Nova Scotia and New Brunswick in Canada. This event rotates annually between the 5 competing areas and is sponsored by the International Candlepin Bowling Association. The NBA will select its bowlers from the highest qualifiers in the open events of this year's tournament. Some of the bowlers today will be in there.